Merry meet Taurus, Taurus sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign. This is a 2-week reading for all you Taurus, starting today, the 16th of December, 2023. Today I'm reading with this beautiful Fournier Marseille deck, and I've already purified with some Florida water. I'm going to give this deck a nice clean cut. And we're going to, I don't think that was all that clean. Let's try that again. We're going to give this deck a nice clean cut. There we go. And we'll see what's in the cards for all you gorgeous, beautiful, amazing Taurus. Valet de paix, what? Okay, so the Page of Swords, it's in your past, so that's always nice. 8 of Coins, and La Force. We have that beautiful strength card where you're headed. Good. So you've been getting some questionable data. You've been allowing yourself to be either lied to or snowed, or at least being given some data that's incorrect or not completely 100% accurate. And so when you don't have the right data, you can't be expected to make the right choices, right? And I think that that's something that's in the past, and we want to leave that in the past, and we want to make sure that you feel comfortable questioning people, even people that you really love and respect. Okay, there's sometimes, because sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes it's not necessarily a lie that somebody's saying to deceive you. It's just sometimes people either don't understand what they're talking about, or they don't say it right. And they say they mean something, and the way they say it is misinterpreted. And I think that that's possibly true here as well. It just depends on your situation, because there's so many different Taurus watching this reading. So just be aware that not everything that you've been informed about recently is entirely accurate. And so what you want to do is just start questioning everything, because it's gonna work itself out. You're gonna see all of it's gonna be fine. But you don't want to keep delaying and delaying and delaying, getting misinformed. Now, this 8 of Coins is saying that maybe some of that misinformation has caused a little need for an attitude adjustment. So a lot of times when you get upset over something that's not completely accurate, and then you find out that what you were upset about was not really happening the way you thought it was happening, you realize what a lot of waste that was. I wasted all of this time being upset over something that wasn't really what I thought it was. So it's saying you can shortcut that whole process by just assuming that most everything that you know is not accurate in this world. Not 100% anyway, because the whole world is a world of illusion. The whole world is only giving you a tiny bit of data compared to what the full picture is. So you have every reason to keep your attitude high no matter what. Even if you think that there's something bad going on, you still can keep your attitude high, and recognize that when you do that, it's not so much just so that you can get through it, it's so that you can change it. And that's what this 8 of Coins is all about. It's as above, so below. It's that principle of correspondence in regards to your attitude, especially, that if you have an attitude of gratitude and praise and joy and all of those things, even if you have to sort of work yourself up into it, what that does is it creates an energy field to create more or even attract more of those things. Whereas if you are going around upset and cynical and listening to a bunch of cynical ideas, then you're going to attract more things to be cynical about. And it's either way, no matter what, your mind is there to prove you right. That's what your deep mind is there for, is to prove you right. It's like if you consider your deep mind like the fertile earth. The fertile earth doesn't say, okay, only these seeds. You can't plant anything but these seeds. No, the fertile earth takes whatever seeds you give her and gives you back in turn the fruits of what those seeds represent. So if you don't want thorns, you can't plant thorns. If you want apples, you got to plant apples. It's just how it goes. And the way you plant is through your attitude, is through your prevailing attitude. Not necessarily, I can't have a bad day or everything is, everything's going to be bad. No, it's the prevailing attitude. It's that conscious sowing of seeds. That conscious sowing of seeds that you need to remind yourself of, that all through the day, not only when you're doing like meditational work, but all through the day you're sowing seeds. Taking charge of your conscious mind is everything. And this strength card is so gorgeous for you because it reminds me of how committed you are to your path, and that how whatever these people are that are giving you bad information or getting you worked up or whatever this is, are not going to prevail, because what you have that can't really combat against is you have, the Taurus, the desire to get to the bottom of things. That's what you have. You have the desire to get to the bottom of things, especially to get to the bottom of things in you. You want to know what makes you tick. You want to know what your patterns are. You want to heal things. You really want to do this stuff. And nothing can really stand up against that. No matter how much bad information somebody gives you, it may put a wrench in the system for a minute, but it can't really prevail. Nothing can prevail against you, because you are you are destined to discover all of the truths about you that you're investigating. And I love this. I love this strength card, because it's saying that you don't have a fear of what you might find within yourself. I mean, you might have a little fear, but you're going to go through that fear, and you're going to recognize that it's worth knowing every little part of you. All the stuff even the stuff that you resist knowing about yourself, because all of those things ultimately are your allies. All of those things are ultimately very good. Some of those things may be misguided, but by looking within and really searching and doing that work that you're doing on yourself, all of those things are going to get integrated, and you're going to realize there's nothing at all within you that is bad. Some things might be mixed up, but nothing's bad. You were created perfect, and that includes all aspects of your mind. So you're going to take charge of that mind, and you're not going to let it get derailed anymore by bad information or by people that have an agenda. Oh my goodness, look at this. This Chariot card is talking about how you've already prevailed over this, whatever this was. Boy, whoever that was, or whatever that situation was in your life that you kind of got snowed a little bit, they're sorry. They're sorry that they tried that on you, or whatever this was, because you have prevailed already. You really have. You've done great work, Taurus. So whatever this is, whatever this overcoming of bad information or bad ideas was that you've that you've accomplished, it's really worked, and you really can keep this Page of Swords in the past. Now the Six of Cups is talking about how that attitude that we were talking about, there's parts of that you can't do on your own, because it's too far of a stretch for you. But you don't need to, because that's what the solar light is there for. The solar light fills in all the gaps that it's just too much for you. It's okay that there's something that's too much for you. It's okay that you can only do so much on your own. And when you realize that's not only okay, but it's just how it works, then you can let yourself be lifted. You can let that infinite intelligence come in and lift you up and do the rest of it for you. Take that last step for you. See, because you're doing so well, if you reach up, if you do your best with your attitude, if you keep things as elevated as you possibly can, you will invariably and inevitably hit a ceiling as a human being. We all do. And that's when you call on that solar light to do for you what you cannot do for yourself. And it'll say, oh, here we go, and just lift you right up. Just lift you right up into that next step that you couldn't quite get to on your own. In a lot of Kabbalistic practice, they call that jumping the abyss. You get to a point where you can only go so far, and you're not meant to jump the abyss. You're meant to be carried across the abyss by infinite intelligence. And that's how it works. So you have to do your part and then infinite intelligence does its part. So if you don't know how to work with that solar light, you could listen to my solar light meditation. It's very brief, and learn how to do that and kind of work with that. Because if you're working with that solar light, it automatically sort of spiritualizes all of your efforts, so that you don't have to go through that moment where you then have to call on help to carry you across that chasm. It's that you're working in tandem from the start. I hope I'm making sense. Now, this Queen of Coins on top of this strength card is saying the more you keep doing what you're doing as far as looking under the hood about yourself and discovering all of those parts of yourself and not being afraid to see what's underneath and really face your fears and face all of those things about yourself, the more you do that, it gives you practical value, gives you practical results. So you've got this 8 of Coins, which I've talked about in very spiritual terms today, but it's talking about how there's very practical benefits from doing both of these things, this elevating of your attitude, this discovery and investigation of those hidden parts of yourself, doing that work. Some of you are in therapy maybe, or some of you are doing deep meditational work or path working. And the more you do that, the more you uncover those inner mysteries, the more practical benefit you have, because you're removing blocks to your good. And those things very frequently spontaneously show up as a healing of financial problems and things like that. So don't think that this is all only just cerebral or only spiritual. It's very practical, the benefit of all of the work you're doing. You're doing splendidly. You really are. You're doing splendidly. This is a beautiful reading, and I'm just happy to see it, and I don't think that there's really much I can do to help you, because you're already on your way. So other than to acknowledge the fact that you're doing so well, and to keep it up, to just mind that attitude, and to allow yourself to be helped in those areas that you might not be able to handle all on your own. That the work you're doing on yourself is going to have very, very practical benefits, and may already be having practical benefits that you weren't even expecting. So good for you. You are a conquering hero, and you get a victory lap. All right, Taurus, thank you so much for spending some time with me, and thank you so very much to the amazing moderators Sarah and Dre, and we will see everybody in 2 weeks, Taurus. We'll see you in 2 weeks for another reading. Blessed be.